So this time of year, I imagine most of you are probably, well, some of you, maybe not, thinking about gifts and what gifts to buy. And it seems like once you get past Thanksgiving, it's like, I have no time. Got to go out and get gifts. But it got me thinking, how not to receive a gift. So I want you to think about this. So I think you guys can relate to most of these things in some way. But imagine having no interaction throughout the year. Maybe it's with your mom or your dad or wherever you go to spend the holidays, whatever. But imagine no interaction throughout the year. But then you show up and you're like, all right, I'm here for my gift. Imagine trying to monopolize, maybe it's your mom and dad or whoever it is. You go above and beyond throughout the year, but for all the wrong reasons, right? And you may think to yourself, well, I am their favorite. Did you see what they got, buddy? Obviously lower down on the totem pole. What if you intentionally withhold information to the person? Drop no hints, never communicate any of your needs or your wants. You don't talk. You just keep them guessing. Oh, but they better figure you out. They better figure it out. Maybe you're on the opposite end of the spectrum and you explain what you want in fine detail. I expect this. I want the white one, not the red one. Brenly. But you make sure to drop all your expectations on the person so they get it exactly right. Maybe you're that person who tries to one-up. It may at least match, but maybe even one-up the gift giver, right? You got me a new grill. Oh, well, I got you a new car. And we joke every year, it's like, I don't know, they put these car ads on TV. I'm like, who is buying a car for Christmas? This makes no sense. But what if you show no appreciation for the gift? You kind of turn up your nose when you get it, or you act nonchalant about it. But what if you never pay it forward? Got a gift, many gifts, but you never pay it forward. All right, obviously we're not here to talk about those kind of gifts, but think about the gift of eternal life that God has offered to us. So thinking back through some of those, imagine, and this is probably the one I think trips up the world the most, but imagine no interaction with God, never having a relationship with God, but expecting Him to give you eternal life. And how many people do we know that is the way they are living their life, that they're thinking they're just going to show up, and it's just going to happen. I don't know that we see this as much, but monopolizing God. The sons of thunder were this way, kind of, right? But imagine trying to be number one in God's eyes, or trying to impress Him or be perfect for Him and I want to be top dog and have this bestowed upon me. And we know we can't earn God's favor or God's gift in that way. Thinking about never communicating any of your needs or wants. What if you never pray to God, but you expect Him to show up and provide what you want and need? Now, I'm not saying that God doesn't. Obviously, He knows what you want and what you need. But if you never communicate it to Him, why would you expect it from Him? Explaining what you want in fine detail. There are some people who kind of set their expectations upon God. Maybe subconsciously, but they live as though, well, God's on my side about this thing. Instead of the opposite mindset, well, am I on God's side about this thing? It's not in our place to try to set expectations on God and say, well, I expect this from you and this from you and this from you. That's backwards. trying to one-up God somehow. Imagine trying to outdo God's gift, that somehow you can match it or exceed it or do enough to earn it. We know that's not possible. What about not showing appreciation for God's gift, for shirking it off and never saying thank you for it? Never paying God's gift forward. Never learning to give the way that He's given or the way that Christ has given. And what if the only lesson you ever learn is just to get, to receive, but never to give? You know, I was thinking that a lot of the nostalgia that at least I have, maybe you're this way, but I have when I reflect back to whenever I was younger around the holidays, is that children are 100% dependent on others to give them gifts. And I think a large part of their excitement is because the gifts that they get, it's something that they cannot give themselves. They can't bestow it on themselves. It's beyond their resources to do so. And once you're an adult, you can get whatever you want. It kind of takes the edge off that, I can't wait. But even so, like children, we are 100% dependent on God for His mercy and for eternal life, for salvation. It's beyond our ability to give the gift of eternal life to ourselves. In Romans 11, it says, "Oh, the depth and the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God, how unsearchable are His judgments and inscrutable His ways. For who has known the mind of the Lord, or who has been His counselor, or who has given a gift to Him that He might be repaid? For from Him and through Him and to Him are all things." There's nothing that we can do to somehow repay God for the gift of eternal life that He offers to us. So ultimately, the gift travels one way, and we must discover a humble way to receive it. But is this how we live? Do we respond in a way that expresses God's gift, that it has value, and that we are completely dependent on Him for it?